So Nagabhushana means one who wears the serpent as necklace, ornament. Why is wearing serpent as ornament? The serpent represents the ego. Ego is poisonous, creates pain and suffering for Jiva. The Jiva, when he realizes that he is Shiva, he becomes a Gnani, Aparoksha Gnani. So Gnani and Aparoksha Gnani, little bit I don't distinguish. Somebody who has a Paroksha Gnana or a lot of knowledge, I would have put Gnani. Aparoksha Gnana is a realized enlightened being. So the snake on the neck of enlightened being represents the ego, which is harmless. It's ornamental. So Gnani will also have ego, but that ego is ego doesn't hurt him. Ego doesn't hurt anybody. He uses the ego for transaction in the world. For example, Gnani may take the role of a teacher or guru, or he may take the role of a king. So that ego is an ornament. That Gnani is called. Now, if you say the moment you say Shiva, you start thinking of a person called Shiva. Shiva is a Gnani or yogi. A person who is in bondage is called Jiva. The person who is liberated is called Shiva. Now you start thinking that, oh, Shiva is a person somewhere. Again, you are bringing personality. The limited state of consciousness is called Jiva. Expanded state of consciousness is called Shiva. It's not a person. Everything about Shiva. So we have seen the Shiva sitting in the Himalayas with a matted lock, with the moon on his head. So we start creating a personality called Shiva. One who has dropped the personality is called Shiva. Okay, but in our mind we start creating a person called Shiva. An enlightened being is not a person. So then what is shown is a representation, not a person. The matted lock of Shiva represents the Sahasrara. It's called Dwadashanta. 12 inches above the head is the point where individual energy meets the universal energy. It's called Dwadashanta. So that Sahasrara Dwadashanta is shown as a meditation practice. You have to take your attention there. So that is the matted lock on Shiva's head. What happens is the moment you see a Shiva's picture, we start thinking, oh, one person called Shiva is there. If person called Shiva is there, he's again a Jiva. It's individual. There's no person called Jiva. This is actually again another imagination we are creating. There's no person called Jiva. An enlightened being is represented as Shiva. So tomorrow Pallaviji gets enlightened. She is Shiva only. I mean, don't have to change your hairstyle, okay? So you don't have to have matted lock. So no, I have become Shiva today. I'm enlightened. I want to bring a serpent from somewhere. Don't have to do all those things. The enlightened being without change of dress is Shiva. You are Shiva. Shiva is not a person. The Jiva, when it loses Jivahood, personality is Shiva. Okay. Why I'm telling this to Pallaviji? Because in your when you speak, I have heard a person there. I mean, are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Okay. Don't create a person called Shiva. There's no person called Shiva.
Okay.
The moment there's a person, there's an ego, there's a Jiva. The pure consciousness operating through a human body is called Shiva. Now, there's no individuality there. There's no ego there. That's why a universal being is there. That universal being is called Shiva. So the representation of Shiva as matted log is a meditation practice. The moon on the head of Shiva, the half moon, crescent moon, represents a chakra in the human body. It's called Bindu chakra. This point. Okay. The serpent on the neck of Shiva represents the ego, which is an ornament. An enlightened being, even though he has no personality, he may appear to take a personality for interaction with the world. Shiva takes, the enlightened being called Shiva, takes the personality of a yogi, Adi Yogi, to teach the world. So now, don't start thinking that this Adi Yogi is a person. Somebody who has become impersonal is called Gnani. Somebody who is a person is a Jiva. Now, from outside, we can't understand who is a Gnani, who is not a Gnani. Okay, the Shiva is given as a representation of a Gnani. The matted lock represents a meditation practice. The third eye of Shiva represents a meditation practice. The Gajacharmambaradara, he wears the skin of an elephant. Elephant represents the haughtiness. Mada. Mada means I'm powerful. Arrogance. So he has killed the elephant called arrogance. So arrogance or pride, it represents 6 Arishadvarga. Kama, Krodha, Madavasara, Moha, Loba. 6 qualities which disturb a human being. So he has killed that. Representation of that, he has a skin of an elephant. He wears the skin of an elephant. Okay. So he has a Trishula, right? The what we call as 3 pains which human beings suffer. Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmika. That 3 pains is separated by one instrument called Gnana. That's why he has a Trishula. So now, if you start looking for a person called Shiva with a Trishula, you'll be missing the symbology. It's a graphical language communicating enlightened being. Okay? You have to understand what is a graphical language. The poet says, I met a beautiful lady. Her eyes are like a lotus. Okay? Teeth are like that dadima. Okay? The face is like a full moon. So you start like searching for such a lady. You land up in the wrong place. So poetic language, graphical language, don't make a mistake and make a person. It's a description of enlightenment, enlightened person, enlightened being with that language. Puranas are full of a graphical language because that's the way they can communicate. They are communicating the truth, but communicating the truth in a language, in a graphical way. He is a man lion. I mean, he'll start, walk like a lion or eat like a lion or roar like a lion. I don't understand. Right? So these are all a poetic expressions, a graphical expressions. So what will happen is that in our ignorance, we start converting the graphical expressions into a person, a being. Are we clear, Pallavi?
Yes, Prabhuji, very clear. Yes.
This is the language of the ancients. They
Okay.
have to communicate something. There's no other way. They have to communicate in words or pictorial representation by which they are trying to communicate some truth. The moment we confuse the truth, the language with the reality, then we are actually missing the essence of what they are communicating. What they are communicating is truth only. But the language is indicative. Don't catch hold of the language.
Hmm.
Okay, don't finger pointing at the moon. Don't catch on the finger. Look at the moon. Shiva is an enlightened being, consciousness. Who is Shiva? You, Jiva. When Jiva loses Jivahood, which means personality, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect. The Jiva is Shiva. It is a description of an enlightened state, not an enlightened person. There's no person called enlightened person. If the enlightened person is there, he becomes a Jiva because he's identifying a personality. But enlightened being uses the body and mind as a vehicle. That's why the serpent on the neck of Shiva represents the ego. Enlightened being uses the ego, he doesn't get used by the ego. That's why he's Nagabhushana. Okay, Pallavi?
Yes, Prabhuji, very clear.
Anybody, any other questions? Anybody wants to sing? Bhajan, Suman?
Prabhuji,
Okay.
one question.
Now it's UK time.
Namaste, Prabhuji. Sheshadri here.
Sheshadri, go ahead.
Like I have heard that there is a natural upsurge of energy tonight.
Natural
And,
upsurge of what?
Upsurge of energy. So to make the best use of this night tonight, I think I don't know what you have planned for the remainder of the program. Would it be useful to practice what we did during the Purna Vidya, the third part, where we did Shambhavi Mudra and focused on moving energy from to Sahasrara.
So what is your question?
Like if time permits, can we do this, or I don't know, because what else is planned?
Today is for bhajans, prayers, and meditation. Only thing is I don't do meditation for long because instead of meditation, people go to sleep. So to keep them awake, they'll sing bhajans and prayers. Otherwise, so I say meditation. Then meditation is a harmonium. They'll do.
As you see appropriate.
So we'll do that. We'll do meditation. Okay. But I don't know how long you people UK want to be online. You want to drop out or you want to continue? What do you want to do?
We can stay, Guruji. It is 9 o'clock at this moment.
9 p.m. night.
Yes, 9 p.m. night.
Okay. So there's this thing. Another 5 hours you can be awake. That's what is saying. To awakening 5 hours. What 5 hours? Awakening. So millions of hours you have been sleeping. Millions of years. Pallavi is already awakened, is it? So Pallavi, you have got a certificate. So anybody else? Any questions from UK side? Any questions or bhajans? Otherwise, our team here is ready for opening the bhajans already.
Can I sing another song, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
Shiva darshana madadidda kangal yatako. Shiva darshana madadidda kangal yatako.